how possession by the Wendigo reflects internal moral structures. So it's like people who prioritize money and personal success over family, relationships, community, those kind of things. That's what where they're going with that.
Well, there was they think about Hannibal Lecter and whatnot.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
I mean, he was the ultimate cannibal. We've been watching Eli Roth's History of Horrors on Shudder. And they were talking about how Hannibal Lecter is really just, he was only in the movie for they said...
Was it 14 minutes
14 minutes total, but man, his...
Of over 2 hours of runtime.
Of The Silence of the Lambs, man, that movie...
He steals the show in that. Completely.
And it really actually made horror more respectable or something.
Because of high, what do you call that? High reputation actors, right? Like Jodie Foster and what's his name? Hannibal Lecter.
Oh, Anthony Hopkins.
Anthony Hopkins.
Sir Anthony Hopkins, I think.
Yeah. So because of it had big actors with a whole shelf full of Oscars, that brought more gravitas to the horror genre, which at that point had been pretty battered.
Well, yeah, especially because in the 80s there were so many horrible slasher
movies, right?
Upon slasher movies and slasher movies.
Yeah, where it's just any kind of scenario you could think of. Birthdays, Valentine's Day, St. Patrick's Day, like every holiday, every occasion there's a slasher movie about it, and they're all awful.
So then Silence of the Lambs came out, and it was like...
Right, and it was like a reset, because it's like horror could be respectable again. It wasn't like Black Christmas.
Oh, God.
We were talking about how Black Christmas was a game changer at its time, because those were a lot of taboo things to have,
Well, The Exorcist, too.
Sorority house. Yeah. During a holiday, you had a person who wasn't supposed to be a killer. He was the boyfriend, so he was like... he was one on the safe side, but he was actually the killer. So it subverted a lot of expectations, but then also was groundbreaking because that hadn't been seen before in cinema at the time. So then it kind of degenerated to the point where slasher movies were just silly. And then Nightmare on Elm Street came out, and it was like a whole... it could be noir, it could be like... terrifying to look at, but you can't look away type of thing,